Good morning, viewers, and welcome to your number one breakfast show on television. My name is Winifred Bebo, and I'm your host for today's Tuesday edition of the program. And as you can see, I have with me in the studio a political economist, is also a public affairs analyst, Ali Elias. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure to have you on the program. Yes, we are not wasting much time today. As you can see, with my guest in the studio, we're going to have a discussion on some front-page news story making the rounds on today's Nigerian papers. And of course, as usual on the program, we are flagging up with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. Let's see what leadership is leading with this Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. Leadership says, thanks NAS leadership, opposition parties brace for tough fight with APC. Thanks NAS leadership, opposition parties brace for tough fight with APC. We'll go with party that shares our ideology, NNPP. We are still monitoring developments, Labour Party. PDP alliance plot suffers setback as Wike Ibori back Wase. PDP alliance plot suffers setback as Wike Ibori back Wase. North Central Southwest senators will be the decider. I'll take leadership's leading story once again. Tenant's leadership, opposition parties brace for tough fight with APC. I'll go with party that shares our ideology, that is NNPP. We are still monitoring development, Labour Party. PDP alliance plot suffers setback as Wike Ibori back Wase. North Central Southwest senators will be the decider. That is the leading story on leadership this Tuesday. And of course, there are also other stories that grace the cover of leadership today. I will see APC crisis, account for party funds, National Vice Chair Tess Adamu. APC crisis, account for party funds, National Vice Chair Tess Adamu. Experts foresee Nigeria breaking epileptic power jinx. Experts foresee Nigeria breaking epileptic power jinx. Launch of Ombudsman not to guard press publishers. Rivers PDP protest at INEC office. APC candidate escapes death. This is aftermath of general elections that just took place in February 25th and then March 18th, respectively. Suspense as police see Labour Party secretariat in Imo. Court offence for feature of late Kashamu's land to federal government. That is on page 10 of leadership. Navy redeploys 52 rear admirals, 76 commodores in major shakeup. And of course, let's just go over to page 3 of the editorial stand of the paper, which is our stand, security agencies and the 2023 election. Security agencies and the 2023 election. That is the editorial stand of leadership. And of course, our Tuesday column is with Ray Murphy. Is talking about broadcast presidential election tribunal proceedings live. Broadcast presidential election tribunal proceedings live. How many Nigerians share that thought? Of course, many people have the opinion that yes, the election tribunal proceedings should be broadcast live. And of course, Ghana Must Go says BB Nigeria are undergoing training on how to behave. That is FINA, the winner of last year's Big Brother Niger, and Ghana Must Go answered her. Does it include getting 6 strokes of the kid? Funny, you might say. But for more stories on leadership, just log on to the website www.leadership.ng. From leadership, before we start discussing the stories of the day, let's move over to what other papers are saying. And the next in line is Vanguard newspaper. Vanguard says, return of bandits, government terrorized Niger, Kaduna, Kogi, Bayelsa, Adamawa. Return of bandits, government terrorized Niger, Kaduna, Kogi, Bayelsa, Adamawa. Stories on page 5 of Vanguard newspaper. Bandits kill 2 villagers, adults 34 escape with arms in Niger. Government kill APC ward chairman, other villagers in Kogi. Government invade Adamawa community, kill 3. Still on Vanguard newspaper, police DSS storm palace of Igbo leader in Lagos for clues. Eze Indigo appears in handcuffs. Police DSS storm palace of Igbo leader in Lagos for clues. Eze Indigo appears in handcuffs. Pro-Tinubu supporters to mobilize 20 million Nigerians against interim government. Nigerian media inaugurates National Complaints Commission. Above the masthead of Vanguard, Delta APC crisis deepens as party expects Omoagege. Leadership position in NAS being bought, Ndume claims. Kaduna Guba, PDP lawmakers elect, others vow to reclaim governorship mandate. Nigeria insurance breach local content law, lose 44 billion naira. From Vanguard, we see what the Nation is saying this morning. The Nation newspaper has governors elect at war over funds projects. Governors elect at war over funds projects. Elia takes on Otom in Benue. Oti tackles Ikpeazu in Abia. Kano is Abba versus Ganduje. Now on the strip, just above the leading story, we have funeral for Kalu's wife to hold the US. APC PDP supporters clash at Rivers INEC. Underneath the story, the bold picture we have on Nation, members of natives group during their solidarity march in support of the general election at INEC headquarters in Abuja yesterday. Now on beneath it, we have a story, presidential poll credible, APC US rights Biden, McCarthy. Presidential poll credible, APC US rights Biden, McCarthy. APC organs should function, National Working Committee members tell Adamu. Party should avoid 2015 scenario on National Assembly positions. Yeah. From the Nation, we move over to THISDAY. No, before we talk about THISDAY, let's just have a conversation on these leading stories we have on leadership. We have on leadership, the Nation, and the Guardian. The Guardian is also on the interim government plot. Afenifere Haneze Arewa youths reject interim government plot. Adebanjo Ajayi remains suspended, has no right to issue statement for Afenifere. Indigo not part of any conspiracy, plans to attend Tinubu swearing in. Decide presidential petitions before May 29. Agbakoba tells Tribunal. That is, I'm reading from the Guardian newspaper this Tuesday morning. Native state peaceful march vows to resist moves to truncate democratic rule. Of course, on the Guardian newspaper, you also have the same similar picture with that of the Nation as the march again countdown to May 29. Now, let's talk.
It's quite interesting this morning.
Yes, these are interesting times, and we can see that from two things we are going to first have a discussion on. This 10th NAS leadership that is about to take up this incoming administration. Many senators they are there started lobbying, and the Dumas claim that many are already buying votes for these electoral positions. What do you have to say about that?
Well, it's a macro way of looking at Nigerian politics in general.
Yes.
You know, if you look at the leadership of National Assembly, it's quite, it's where they really do the politicking, and you could see that with the fact that APC still have 1/3, and other opposition parties also have a good number, which is very, very good for democracy. However, they have started, everybody have started putting effort to see who emerge as the leadership.
Are they going to throw it open? Because that was the problem Buhari had during his
that
first
time. Yes.
tenure. He said no, it did not bother. At the end of the day, you saw that even the opposition PDP talking about Ekweremadu
emerged as a deputy Senate president. So the fact
those
also,
that they didn't want actually.
I don't think they want to give room for that because they learned their lesson in.
They're giving where the president and the vice president are from.
Right.
region. Are they not supposed to zone it?
No, definitely, it's going to be to zone to either for Senate president.
Mm.
Is for sure it's going to be either southeast. Is for southeast or south.
So,
So I think it's even there for the southeast to lose because it's their own. If they can push more further, engage more assembly members because it's quite political. You don't just sit down
sit down,
and say
sit
it's
down.
your right to do it. And I could see that the Odius Okalo is gunning for it and is also saying a Miloko at this point in time. So and I think for me, I think he's one of the most experienced senators
But it just
from the
it's,
from
it's,
the
okay from the zone.
from the zone, yes.
Okay,
from
but
the
we
south.
have okay, that one is not from his party.
For APC, I think the
Yes.
most experienced
Yes.
person, the
Yes.
person that is much more influential is Odius Okalo. But the thing is, we still have David Umahi, a governor.
No, that one is just coming on
No,
street.
no,
Of
no,
course,
it's just
not
not.
no. It's
Sometimes
the first time
this is politics. This is
and
politics.
we are, I'm
If
also looking
APC
at
is bent on using him as a Senate president,
but I'm seeing a situation whereby because Akpabio too has also
no. That's what I'm saying.
interest.
I'm saying that for Southeast have much more upper hand. Now, if you now trade it off, it will now go for Akpabio. Akpabio is a good player in terms of for
Yes.
APC. We recall that even at the national at the Eagle Square when they are doing the primary, he was the first person to step down for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And apart from that, all these things even go beyond what we see. They have some businesses and they are breathing together. So I think if left for party, I think they will be looking at Akpabio. But for Nigerians' sake, to really maintain peace and equality as expected, I think the Southeast deserve it more, especially looking at the challenges we are having. Because there is unrest in some places in the Southeast. To really give an equal, opportunity, there is need for us to say, Southeast come and take this position. I think by so doing, to douse the tension and the sit at home might rethink the sit at home, a lot of Biafra agitation, everything, for them to really feel
sense of belonging.
exactly there is need for that. But the thing is, when that now comes, you now remember where with the deputy senate president. But you will recall, I want you to just go through this. Remember during Obasanjo, this is the same scenario that played. The president was from Southwest,
Yes.
the vice president was from Southeast, and the chairman of the party was also from the North Central.
No, sorry, the vice president there was Atiku Abubakar.
He's not East, sorry. He's not East. Yes, now this present president elect,
Yes.
vice president elect is also from the North.
Yes, we
So
still have
it's
the
same
same
template.
scenario. Yes, the same template.
It's same template.
Yes.
So we just have
And
to.
we had how many then? We have Evans Aweren.
About five of them.
we
It's
now
cut
had
across
Wabara.
all the
We had Wabara. We now had
Anyim, Pius Anyim,
Okadigbo.
5 of them.
Yes.
In fact, it's cut across the whole 5
we now even
states
had
of
Inamani.
the. I'm saying now, the whole 5 states, it's come from Ebonyi, Anambra, Imo, all the 5 states experienced Senate president. I hope we will not see, because even as Okadigbo, as Odius Okalo is gunning for it, you could see some little voices saying that we don't want a prisoner, we don't want this. All these information are coming from
Nigerians are
the
so
same
very
place.
funny. That's what some people are saying that is an ex-convict.
But it has been upturned, so you can't say that before the law. The law has said it does not, so I will follow the law.
So this time around, I hope there will be cohesion even among the Southeast if it's deployed, because from the names you just mentioned, some were just like, based on falsification, Pedro Evans, and we saw what played out during that time. Even during the Okadigbo's time, the maize was stolen,
a lot of things happen, but I think our democracy has.
They were being impeached.
Our democracy has moved beyond that level now. Then it was 1999, and we're just coming to democracy.
Yes.
I think even the person who is the Senate president, we find way of killing anything that will arise that will make them to say, go and sit down, you are not the right person. So I think it will not happen. So, but looking at the as deputy Senate president, that's another thing we need to look at critically. Where is that going to come from? We also need to look at the House of Rep too. Look at the House of Rep. From what is happening, it's likely to be from the North Central.
And just like what you said, there are already lobbying, and our paper leadership said North Central Southwest senators will be the decider, because they know that they are not in the race for it. So they are now like what do you call it, the bride. You have
Exactly.
they
You
are
have
going
to
to
woo them seriously to
exactly.
but not central also have want to get the House of Rep speakership. So there will be trade-off between we are giving you this, we are giving you that. And most people are even pointing at Wase.
Oh yes, that is what
Yes.
leadership is
Oh,
talking about. That
that's it. Leadership is always
PDP
on point.
alliance plot suffer setback as Wike will back Wase.
Exactly.
In other words, PDP, I don't know why Wike is now taking opposition stance to the party.
It's not really opposition. It's no matter what. There's nothing PDP can do. It's going to be APC that will become the speaker.
Yes.
And
No,
except they trade it off, which is pretty difficult. I believe they would want to trade off. So, but the thing is, it is not central that's likely to come. And once Wike throw his support for, and remember, Wike will not be governor again after May 29. So you want to influence whoever is there so that you can benefit from that person politically. Do you get? And moving forward, we cannot even predict. You can also later become an APC member. You can't do that. You can't do that. Oh, that's politics exactly. For you. So, but to look at it,
he played in,
I'm just thinking
APC's
that
victory in the presidential
right.
election.
My own view is that if secretary to the federal government, SGF can go to South, I think that will balance the pressure.
Okay, secretary. Okay,
yes, because you know
once people are tipping the speaker, the current speaker for chief of staff.
For chief of staff, for me, I am not. For me, for chief of staff to Tinubu, I prefer Fashola as chief of staff because of his experience. And when I say experience, he was the former chief of staff to Tinubu when Tinubu was governor. He was a former governor. He was a minister. And if you look at him, he doesn't politic a lot. Look at Fashola, doesn't really do politicking a lot. So apart from that, for the benefit of Nigerians too, I think Fashola, anything he stands for, is always very, 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 very firm. But the Amila, a good person too, but he has not really hold that chief of that position.
He's somebody that has been in the house.
He doesn't
democracy.
Correct. He's not.
But Niele has been there.
No, but he has not been a governor. You can't you can't compare a governor and a speaker. If at all, speaker is the federal, but a chief executive of the state and a minister, it's a good.
But he seems to have a good personal closeness with the president-elect.
No matter the closeness,
that was when the speculations actually started because he didn't go. Many people say he didn't collect his certificate of return.
That's not as good as he can always collect it. It's there for him now. It's a mandate. If he doesn't collect it, yes. But the thing is that if you see it's very close to Fashola, to Tinubu, that's not correct. The way I say it's not correct compared to Fashola this time. No, Fashola is not closer because Tinubu handed over power to
many
Fashola.
People there were speculations that the gap widened between both of them, especially during that 2019.
Well, I agree with you.
As a matter of fact, he was able to even do his second tenure, complete his second tenure because of the outcry of many Lagosians. Remember they almost had the face of.
Yes, said, no, I agree with you, but you agree with me as well.
Lagos State House was almost moved to impeach him.
You agree with me that Fashola would have known even Tinubu weakness and would know how to support him compared to. He was a chief of staff. They ruled together. He handed over to him, so they knew how they will manage themselves. That means he has never had this closeness with Amila at all. When you close, there's no way there will be a kind of fraction.
Sometimes I've discovered in Nigeria that it's not all that you see. There's more to.
There's always definitely, especially in politics.
Exactly.
Interest.
Both of them are
interest is very, very key.
Now, another thing that we are looking at
the
return of bandits. Governors and governors-elect at over funds. But that's not the issue. I want to talk about the return of bandits. What is happening here?
Right. Where I was on NTA yesterday,
Vanguard
and we have to discuss
of
the outcome of Naira design, what have you. And I made mention that one of the major reasons was it's part of the bandits, so that it can really come. So are we going to be sufficient to say that now that they say money is available, they decide to come out to really attack again? But I think our security should not relax. That's what I should say. Because the way they intensify their efforts before election and during election, maybe perhaps it is going down gradually. So I think you could see that even they have redeployed a lot of
Yes.
them. So I think they should redeploy and do more. I think that could be the
Okay,
major
presently
problem.
in Kaduna imposed a curfew on Sabo, Gari, Nasarawa, Tikania.
But it was not banned, it is communal class. That's the Kaduna issue. It was
Yes, they are
communal.
left
So it's not,
yes.
but the resources of band, I think the Nigerian security need to do more. Since they have that, they should continue that momentum that they have maintained before election. Because we have election peacefully, there was no any form of attack and what have you. So I want the president, current president, to do more by making sure that the military do their work the more, because they did a lot of beautiful work
Yes.
during that period.
Now let's talk about governors and governors at large, elect. Sorry, they have been at war over funds and projects. I mean, what is happening here? Because few days ago, was it a few days ago, I heard over the radio because when I'm driving, I listen to the radio news all the time, and there was talk that the Kano governor elect banned the erection of structures just arbitrarily. I was like, wow, he's already issuing orders and it has not been sworn in. And it's the same situation we are seeing in Abia, Benue, and Kano.
But it is
What is
expected.
happening?
It is expected because a party is going out, a new political party is coming in, and it is on the two sides.
And apart from that, why is it that outgoing government or administration, will I call it wickedness of this stuff? You see that, for instance, in Osun State, when the
Oyetola.
Oyetola was leaving, he went and
An
appointed
employer.
how many?
Well,
And what begins to wonder, you are just about leaving. Why are you doing this? You want to cause disaffection for the incoming administration, because by the time we lays them off, people will say, "Oh, why would Adeleke do this?"
as far as
the
the constitution is concerned, the governor is still the governor. So he believes that you need to exercise all his powers, and you will see himself more because he knew he's going out. So you want to engender a lot of things that will be like legacy for what he did not do about 3.5 years. So it is expected that all these opposition party that have secured the ticket of becoming the next governor, they need to cry out truly, so that they will not be put in a dead situation that they will not be able to come out. It's happening in Benue, and that Benue one is quite expected because Autonomo is going. It's not that only is going, his political party is out of the race. So that means once you are out of the race, every structure, so they would like to put some little things that they will still hold on to thereafter. So also in Kano, the Kano one is even much more expected. Kano is a project state, just like Lagos and Port Harcourt. They have a lot to do in terms of so I think the Kano man would like to.
Many people actually give kudos to Gandhi.
He
did so well, and he actually started. He stepped in to finish project.
Is his superior. But apart from that, I don't want to. I find it difficult to give kudos to Lagos governors, Port Harcourt, Rivers State governors, Kano. You know why? They have abundance.
Yes.
They have come to. Let's change them to Kogi. Let's change them to Kogi and let's see what they will do. They have abundance, a lot of internal generated revenue.
Besides, and they also draw more from the federation.
They are also owing than every other state, which also know that they borrow more.
They draw more from the federation than every other state.
And they also borrow more. Go and check the highest indebted states. Yes. So for the rivers, you see rivers, you see Kano, you see them, they are the highest. So they have more funds that they can actually utilize. But the Kano situation is even worse because even the state assembly will be having more NNP members, even in national rep. So they APC know that there is nothing for them at all. Nobody can even fight their cause. So they want to engender and influence a lot of things before they go. And for Alex Oti of Abia, he also, he's an opposition party now. So he thinks he needs to shout out before they will make the treasury empty, before he comes and keep on struggling for like 1 year before you get anything. So these are the things.
But these are experts, like experts in the reason that he was not a chairman of one of these banks.
You mean Alex Oti?
Yes. These banks, and
we also have some superstars as well. He's
and we also have somebody like governor of Anambra State, Soludo, former CBN governor.
Right.
So one would expect that with all their
Knowledge.
years and experience, they are going to bring it to bear in the state. Like for instance, many people are a bit disappointed in Soludo because instead of him to, one would have expected that coming to power after maybe 3 terms of trying, he will hit the ground running. But at the end of the day, most of these governors and even the coming ones, the governors elect, what they always dream of in increasing the revenue of their state is to increase taxation. But why is that so? Why can't are they not find why are they finding God to think out of the box
Well,
to
if
come up with other ways and innovations they can boost their revenue?
Well, I think for Soludo, it's come like a baptism of fire on them by the time they assume the office. You know what they always think, just like even the current president of Nigeria. You see that when he got to the presidency, after even in 6 months, he's still in shock of what he expected. So, but the fact just means that once you became a president, I mean president or governor, you have to reposition yourself. You have to look at your treasury. How much do we have? How much do we generate? And they will discover that the state civil service got majority of the money. But for Soludo, I will even give him kudos. It's industrializing, turning the state to an industrialized state gradually. It's not an easy task. Maybe before he finishes, then he could achieve that.
Did 1 year.
1 year. So maybe I think he will achieve that in that area. But for the development that we expect, it's not a quick one. If at all you start putting monies or creating investment, it will reflect you after 2 years. It's not easy for you to just see those structure at the same time, except there is a laid down, and that's why Lagos thrive more. Lagos is like a template. Once you come, the rail, Ambode started the rail, and then when the Sanwo-Olu came, you improved on it, and before you see, he launched it. So that's how
did
it
you
should
see
be.
the trending video on the Blu-ray project that they were pushing?
They were pushing. Well, it's even the accident that happened along it's another problem, but I think it's surmountable. It's what they can always look into. Our problem in Nigeria is that we always look at starting that and we don't look at the consequence that around it. Once you start a project, there are some things that will come to also fight it. So you have to look at it very well. Perhaps maybe there is no manpower. Technically, that's another thing.
No matter.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. That is that for that on politics, and we have still on politics because we are looking at this day and nation. They have almost similar stories to this May 29th countdown to May 29th, and this interim government. Let's see how this day is saying it. Yeah. Army will contain all threats to nation's sovereignty. Army will contain all threats to nation's sovereignty. Says operations against saboteurs raised oil production to 1.3 million barrels per day. Major shakeup as Navy redeploys senior officials. That is on nation sovereignty. We're talking about
You're talking about May 29.
yes, May 29. And the Punch says, sorry, I will still go back to this day first. Let's just have a talk on this. Ahead handover, that is the Punch. Military vast crackdown on security threats once IPOB orders. Ahead handover. Military vast crackdown on security threats once IPOB orders. Nobody should threaten integrity of Nigeria, truncate democracy, Defense Headquarters Army Chief. APC asked Biden to disregard anti-Tinubu petitions as protesters demonstrate in US. Politicians rooting for interim government irresponsible, mischievous. Buhari Media Organization. And of course, you have a pictures, not one picture, pictures of protesters on the Punch. You can see save our mandate, give us our demand, INEC. Certified true copy of all resources from you, INEC. These are many people are still, by the way, many people are still protesting all across Nigeria.
Right,
that's a car that was vandalized in still on the Punch newspaper. And one case falls injured as Rivers APC PDP supporters clash. What is happening here? There's still so much disenfranchisement.
Exactly.
Disenchantment
On the issue
across
of
the land, protest
Rivers
every
State,
day.
I think government needs to step in seriously.
But there's
because
one thing that is coming out glaringly during this aftermath of these elections. the fact that many people, that is the opposition, those that lost, cannot still access election materials from INEC. Why is this so?
If you look at the agitation of Tony Cole of APC in Rivers, he said he want to see the CTC certified true copy.
Don't forget, it's the same thing. But the opposition here in Abuja, the presidential, INEC also.
But that's what you announced now. You have announced already. Just give us the certified.
Let's just see it accept. And there was even a clampdown on them. And of course, they said they were in the hotel. I read the report, and it was
clamped down on
absurd. And I was like, oh, if police could do this, why are they not also clamping down on the terrorists when they gather? That they said they got how do you call it, information that there were some people clustered in hotel, they were using laptop.
Okay, it was
so they went and arrested them.
Who they arrested?
They discovered that some of them were lawyers.
It's a lawyer of Cole.
That they got information.
It's quite
why are you not getting information
they seized
on bandits?
System of him and everything.
Yes.
And they waylaid him and they took him, malhandling him and what have you.
I'm like,
the fact is
if
that
people get information on people converging, why are you not getting information on these terrorists?
Right. But the issue of PDP insisted that they also want to see the certified true copy when Tony Cole is also seeing it. Maybe they are thinking there could be
PDP won the election. So it's just like.
But the message around
proverbial saying that when you beat a child, you cannot say the child should
not cry.
You won. They've declared you the winner. Now, okay, the opposition said, let me have access to those documents that made you the winner. And you are saying no. PDP protesting is just a diversionary tactics. You
well, don't say it's diversionary tactics. It's expected. Politics, you don't give chances. What they are trying to do is they are trying to protect their own mandate as well. That once you are checking it, we are also checking it. So they will see in case there is funky. They don't trust themselves. That's the thing. But we should blame the INEC, because if you announce a particular result, no problem. You have announced, give us a certified true copy so that we can use it to file our cases and what have you. Give it to them. That means you did not. Should we say, let's not preempt the law anyway? Yes. But we say that you didn't announce the right thing? Yes. Because you are making us to start thinking. Making us to start thinking that
there's more to it than this. You declared, and now people see what we announced, see the result, see how we arrive at this at the result that we.
That's the expectation. I don't know why there is.
So now, and that brings me to another question. What is that? There are so many disenchantments. There are so many protests
after this election. Well, the thing is, you wouldn't say you would not say there shouldn't be a protest, but you agree with me that at every Nigeria election now mostly end in court. You see what I'm trying to say? So if an election end in court, then you have reasons to say, let me try and go to court, because we've seen the situation of Imo State where the third person became the. We also see the case of Bayelsa where Doye Diri
no win election.
They couldn't be and Lion mandate was given to him because of so people want to try. And that's why we should discourage. That's why we should strengthen our democracy by having good election. And the last time we met, I made mention that they should allow each party agent to be at the back end server of INEC. By the time they are there, there wouldn't be all these bad feelings, because they would have seen that truly when this thing came in, you actually lose. But now you didn't allow them to see. You didn't allow to see certified true copies. They will have to think otherwise. So I think we should strengthen our democracy and see how we can allow, because that will reduce court cases. It also reduce all these protests. You see what happened in Nasarawa. Women go almost naked to protest that their mandates.
Oh yes, and you could see the anger in the woman that even was naked and replacing forces.
So we have to look at those things critically, because if it's truly free and fair and there's no bad handling of it, and you will see that from what even happened in the presidential election, people take that continence to governorship election, even though the governorship election was more better, because they must have learned their lesson in the presidential and it was better, but people still have bad feeling because
I beg to disagree. That governorship, yes, it was I wouldn't say it was better because we saw what happened that some state governors actually had to, with collaboration or connivance with INEC, how they hijacked the process. And
Well, we want to see. They said they caught over 600 people who commit electoral crime during election. So I think we want to see them being tried in court, and by the time they give them they prosecute all these people. I think it will give a lesson to them because I remember they arrest somebody in Kano. You recall one House of Rep member. I don't know, and it's
oh yes,
so
gas.
what's his name?
Gazua.
He's one of the leadership
Yes,
in
now
House of
minority
Rep.
leader.
So
Gazua.
uh, Adodogwa. His name is
Dogua.
Adodogwa. Yes,
Sorry,
that's his
it's
name.
Dogua.
So I
Yes.
think, and they said a lot of things and whatever. So I think if you see these people being tried in the court, either they fall victim or not, let us see them being tried. I think that will help and strengthen our democracy and to be a
Because
caution
if
to.
okay, like look at how this day captioned it. Gunshots, violence disrupt APC PDP's visit to INEC's office in Rivers. Talks attack opposition party secretariat. Toyenko cries out, says his life in danger.
Well,
Now
according
you
to
begin
him,
to wonder,
right,
like now, okay, must it be at the time APC wants to go and inspect its materials
that
that
PDP.
PDP will also want to go? You can go at your own time.
The,
Why must you now
the
state
fact
that
remains
no?
that if you look at the crowd of PDP, you know that there is no way they would have come or reduced violence there. Okay, according to Toyeko, there are just like four because
Yes, I saw
they couldn't move.
Yes.
Said they couldn't move. There was a barricade and they stepped down. They are now walking. But you could see even from the video that we saw,
Yes, that
you
we
see
saw.
the number of PDP, the women dancing, and their leadership are also there. There is no way they are. That means as if they are protect. They are.
Yes.
I mean, protecting. No. They are trying to deny
That's just
APC
it.
from
Deny from accessing the
accessing.
INEC.
So it's not that if you want to feature, you also want to look at the same time. Select your people that will come out that you will now
It
form
mustn't be at the
a
same
rally,
time.
turn it to a rally.
I don't understand what I'm trying to get. Is that the server is that okay? You've won election. Then why are you now afraid or blocking the opposition from having a look at the results?
Yeah, they want to protect their mandate. That's what they will say, and you wouldn't blame them. The other party would have done the same thing as well. So they are bed of the same feather.
Thank you so much. Well, just before we go, Human Rights Commission cautions NBC over sanctioning of media
I'm
houses.
interested in that.
Nigerian media owners unveil national complaints.
Right. You see, Nipan, Nigeria
Publishers
publisher. Now, when I saw that thing, I was thinking federal government is trying to establish another ombudsman. I was not imagining.
Me too.
Why are you trying to do double?
Same.
But I later discovered that it's an arm of what of Nipan, which is not bad. But people think they will sanction more newspaper, but they really need to actually protect media house because you see what happened recently where they sanctioned Channels TV for 5 million, because that team made some statement and what have you. They want to see each case merits so that they can also fight because if they don't come together like that, it will be much. So people are saying this from the other side, but it's to protect the media house, not really to gag them. Because these are media practitioners.
So we are seeing more of that in this administration. Why is that? So many media houses have been fined over.
Well, I don't think it's bad to fine, but the merit of the case is a major thing because you know that there's some utterance that can cause mayhem or bring a disaffection in the. So once you mention those things, but what are the type of
political?
What happened is
if you watch the program, you see that the host actually
was cautioning the
exactly was trying to say him. So how
the fact just remains that I think is that opposition political party. I think APC that wrote to NBC. I mean because of the NBC. So we must what Nipan is trying to do with this commission is to reduce the way NBC listen to these political parties because they are like in competition. So they want to do everything to make sure that one comes down. I think that's what really happened. But if there's a way political party could also be cautioned, because that's where we should come to now. Because when you are bringing people to media house, you don't tell them what to say, what not to say. You only tell them the basic things. Please don't say anything that will abuse the right of others. Perhaps by the time that utterance comes out, you can only caution that person to withdraw it or not to say that again. You didn't have any have power on that statement. So I think each political party that causes such disaffection should also be cautioned. By so doing, they will caution their spokespersons, they will also caution the presidential and other candidates of the political party.
Thank you so much for your thoughts this
Yeah,
Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. So it's a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thank you for having
So
us.
I look forward to seeing you same time next week.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Well, viewers, we've come to the end of today's Inside Nigeria, your number one favorite show on television. Don't forget, same time, same station tomorrow is another day. I am Winifred. See you then. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio.